You ever walk into a place that feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for you to mess up? That was the Jefferson County Courthouse the day. Everything cracked, open polished marble, air thick with that cold, stale kind of quiet where you know the walls are listening. I wasn't there to make friends. Serena, cold 30 years Navy SEAL, medals earned and bled for, faced the world for God on purpose, wasn't supposed to show up looking like she owned the joint. No uniform, no insignia, just a gray wool coat and a folder clutched tight. But you know how it goes. They size you up anyway. The attorneys by the elevator barely turned, but I heard it smirks, mutters, all that Ivy League arrogance you can't wash out with cologne. Probably here for child support, one whispered, and another called her folder coupons, like the punchline to a joke she was never meant to hear. Yeah, that happened. But Serena kept moving, slow, steady, boots soft on marble, not apologizing for a damn thing. She'd done this dance before. Boardrooms, war rooms, always some invisible fence. Built from looks, tones, that silent message you don't belong. She kept her head up anyway, made her way to courtroom 2B, where her old friend, Noah Briggs, waited. Noah, who'd left half his body in Ramadi and now was fighting the VA for benefits they'd rather see buried. Serena had his evidence. Hospital records, witness logs, stuff nobody wanted to see the light of day. Then came the blockade. Officer Chad Rennick, the walking poster boy for small-town authority, arms crossed, jaw set, buzz cut, screaming, "Do not question." "You sure you're in the right building?" he said, just loud enough for the people on the benches to hear. Serena kept it cool, said she was there under subpoena, documents to deliver, and when Chad tried to play the "leave them with me" routine, she held her ground. "I was told to deliver these myself." The tension in that hallway? You could feel it pull tight. Everybody knew what was happening, even if they pretended not to. "Maybe dress like you belong," Chad snapped, and Serena just looked at him, all calm steel. "I've testified in rooms where men lost rank for blinking too loud. This is child's play." But he wasn't backing off. The whole damn courthouse seemed to freeze, the clerk behind the desk pausing, people on benches pretending to check their phones. Serena stepped around him, didn't flinch, just walked on by, very microaggression hanging like smoke nobody wanted to claim. But Chad wasn't done. He followed, boots echoing sharp and angry on the tile, ready to make his point. In the records office, the clerk MS. Arnetta looped up at Serena's name and went pale. "You shouldn't be here," she muttered, recognizing Serena not as a stranger, but as the whistleblower from a case everybody in that courthouse wanted forgotten. Judge's son, military scandal, the whole thing buried. "I didn't choose the judge," Serena replied, voice flat as concrete. "The system did." Chad burst in, barking about protocols, demanding the folder, trying to muscle her out like he owned the place. Serena, still steady, told him chain of custody mattered. These records weren't for him. The air felt electric, everyone holding their breath, wondering if this was finally the moment something would snap. Chad's hand twitched near his holster, not quite reaching, just reminding everyone what side he thought he was on. Serena didn't back down. She moved to the courtroom doors, folder tight, in hand. "You were told to stop," Chad spat. Serena kept walking. Defiance wasn't shouting, it was composure. She paused just long enough to say, "Chain of custody still matters." That was it. Chad shoved her. Harder, real, angry shove, the kind you never forget. The folder exploded open, papers scattered everywhere. Serena hit the marble, her hand split, blood streaking across the tile. Time froze. Gasps. A little boy in the hall whispered, "Mama." Why'd he push her? She didn't do anything. His mom had no answer. Nobody did. Serena picked herself up slow, blood smeared across her palm, collecting her papers in silence while Chad loomed above her, face blank as stone. Nobody helped. Nobody moved. Judges, clerks, lawyers, everybody just watched. That's when Lena Carver, a law student nobody saw coming, stood up and started filming, thumb on record, breath shaky but steady. Serena got to her feet, shoulders squared, eyes clear, everybody in the room watching, nobody speaking. The judge swept in, barely pausing to acknowledge the woman on the floor. Chad stood there, badge gleaming, conscience missing. Serena finally looked Chad in the eye. "You'll regret today," she said low. "Not because of what you did, but because of what the world just saw you do." He didn't move, but something in the air shifted. Noah Briggs, crutch under one arm, got up across the room. "You shouldn't be on the floor," he said. "Neither should Justice," Serena shot back. And then something happened nobody expected. A decorated general in the crowd, Walter Ames, rose and saluted Serena. "She doesn't need a uniform to be respected," he said, voice gravel and thunder. "She wears blood." And suddenly, the room had to listen. But justice? It's never that simple. By that night, the news had already started chopping the footage, spinning Serena as a disturbance, Chad as a man, just doing his job. Lena, the law student, got a warning from her university. Publish another clip and you're out. Anonymous threats poured in. But she uploaded the uncut video anyway. Blood on the floor, the child's voice, the general salute, the whole truth. It exploded online. Hashtags, retweets, outrage, support, and, yeah, the system hit back. Sheriff Clay on the news blaming radical activists. The officer reassigned but still paid. Serena erased from the official story. Behind closed doors, the cover-up rolled on. Walter Ames found the record Serena brought had been swapped for sanitized files, proof erased by the very system she tried to hold accountable. But Noah had connections, a whistleblower network, tech friends in D.C. They weren't letting this die in a drawer. If they tried to clean it, they left dirt behind, Walter told him, and they went to work, digging, connecting dots, determined to expose what nobody wanted public. It spread. Vets at local halls watched Lena's clip on old projectors. People coming forward with stories about Officer Rennick's buried complaints. Voices rising from all corners, saying enough. Quiet vigils started on the courthouse steps. General Ames led the charge. This wasn't about Serena alone. It was about everyone who'd been erased, who'd bled for a country that pretended not to see. Congress got involved, and for the first time in years, Serena was called to testify not just about what happened in that hallway, but about what the system had done for decades. Lawyers tried to paint her as unstable, as aggressive, but every answer landed clean. She didn't want a medal. She wanted every denied file reviewed, every buried story dragged into the light. "Start with truth, not ceremony," she said, and you could hear the room settle into history. Then came the reckoning. Rookie cops secretly filmed the chief admitting on tape, "Let them shout. As long as we keep our seats, we're still in charge." The audio went viral, and suddenly the shield of silence shattered. By morning, the police chief was on leave, Officer Rennick under investigation for everything he'd ever done. City spokespeople stopped spinning and started promising accountability. When the dust settled, the statue went up. Not a grand thing. Just Serena sitting with her battered folder, eyes aimed at the doors that once turned her away. Underneath, she made them listen. The crowd gathered. No speeches, no headlines, just a quiet sense that something had changed, maybe for a moment, maybe forever. Serena stepped forward. No uniform, no script, just her. I didn't stand for a seat. I stood because someone had to remind the system we're still here. We will not be erased. The crowd held its breath. A child whispered, "When I grow up, can I be like her?" His mother smiled, tears in her eyes. The answer wasn't for the cameras. It was for all of us. So let me ask you, what sticks with you, the silence, the folder, or the salute? If Serena's fight means something to you, hit like, share the story, and drop your thoughts below, because in a country this divided, every voice matters. Yeah, that happened. And now, nobody gets to look away.